channel has come to stay, and I believe by God's grace, lives will be blessed because of this channel. Lives will be transformed. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Somebody make some noise. This is the World Fashion and Style. So glad to be here. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and of course leave a comment at the comment section. We'll be glad to have this become interactive. All right, my name is Ruth, and it's so good to be here. So sorry we've gone MIA for some time. Been trying to arrange some good stuff for you guys. All right, so today I'll be talking about skill. Skill. All right, what is skill? All right, in my own definition, I think skill is the ability to acquire a knowledge, get trained. Getting trained means acquiring a knowledge and then in a particular field, and then making use of the knowledge acquired in that area, right? So that's what I think a skill is. All right, so that means if you acquire knowledge and you use it, you've acquired a skill. Then, on the contrary, if you get a knowledge and you don't use it, you've not ended up acquiring a skill because you are not using it. You've not put into practice the knowledge acquired. So, the World Fashion and Style will be teaching you or sharing with you how to acquire a skill and grow in that skill. So I'll be sharing a lot of things using my own life journey on how I, started from acquiring a skill and to this point where I am. So it's about a lot of things I'll be dishing out for us to learn. So today I'll be, sharing some of my life experiences and journeys towards acquiring skill in fashion designing. All right, stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back. All right. So, where do I start from? Okay. Acquiring a skill can be a difficult thing because you come to a point in your life and you don't really know what to do next. Like, it's as if you're confused. For me, I just finished a diploma that time, and I was about getting into school again to further my education. So while I was waiting, I was looking out for things. I was like, okay, what do I do? Where do I take it from here? And normally I'm this kind of person. Why I'm looking out for something, I don't just stay just getting occupied with some other things. But that is not skill. At times when you are into a lot of things, you see that you don't really have a skill. You are just dissipating your strength everywhere, and at the end of the day, you can't really say this is my growth. So for me, I was into a whole lot of things. I remember then I was into ushering. I go for events to usher at events, burials, birthdays, weddings, and I still remember working for one of my senior friends that was into event management then. So I was working with her that period, and I remember working with another man too that was into events. So I was just everywhere. I was just everywhere. That's me. Normally, I don't just stay, while I'm waiting for one particular thing I want. I'm just, working on it. But if you're listening to me carefully, you will understand that that is not skill. It's skill is something you are consistently doing, and at the end of the day, you look at your growth. You will see the the improvements you've made over time. So that's what this video is about. I'm talking about starting a skill and staying on it. So now, as of the time I went into fashion designing, that was the time I was still looking for admission. I just finished a diploma and wanted to further my education. So I remember that day in church, and another thing I love about myself, or I've seen myself do over the years, is I look out for opportunities and good opportunities, and I move into it immediately. So I remember then, while I was still doing all these things, being everywhere, At the same time, if I can just say that, I remember a friend of mine, I wouldn't really say she's my friend then, or she was my friend, because maybe that relationship were in the same department in church. So I remember her coming to me and saying, what are you doing now? And I was like, okay, I just finished my diploma, and I want to further my education, but I'm still writing, exams to get into school. And she was like, okay, I make clothes, why not come around and check some things out? I was like, oh, okay, I will, thank you. So I after that day, I still went back to my normal hustling and doing what I was doing that time, working with that my senior colleague, friend that was into events. So one thing I do too is, anytime I see things I know I can't do, I refer to people I know that do them, or that can do them, or just share the news around. That's why I wanted to share this news around. Thank you. So I remember I encouraged my students to take up that opportunity and go learn a skill, learn something. You know, it was my heart desire. Really, I loved that she wanted me to come. It was somewhere in my heart, but I was busy that particular time. So I remember when one day I came to work, and my madam then, she was like, okay, see, I need to restructure, and I think you guys, we need to take a break and all that. Immediately, the next thing I did was to dive back to that opportunity that was given to me. So I think it was that same day, after she said that at our place of work, I went straight to this my senior friend that was into fashion design. And then, so I came, I was just looking around, I was just looking at everybody, people that were learning, and I was really excited. I was like, wow, I think this is something I can really put my mind into. And then I used to think fashion designing is a big deal. Like, kudos to people that are into it. I used to think they used to do magic. Like, how do you look at a person and make clothes and it will fit? Or more. I say I am going to go into this, and probably, maybe, this is what I need to sit and focus. Probably drop some other things, because as of that time, I just think other things were like a whole lot for me. Maybe I just need to put my attention here, learn this. So that was it. I came and I was really, really happy with what I was seeing. I made up my mind immediately that I'm going to do this. And really, I'm talking to someone that really wants to acquire a skill. You have to come to a point where you make up your mind. You will make up your mind to do this. So I started, and I noticed that this is not just what I thought. It was a lot of things. Like, fashion designing entails a lot of things. So I discovered that it was taking money from me. And that particular time I was not working. So I started experiencing financial struggles. I asked myself, how am I going to survive? So, buying materials, like the curriculum, school curriculum, anyone that your boss is supposed to teach, you have to get this, get that. So immediately I told myself, let's get a plan B. How do we overcome these financial struggles? And remember, I told you that I was involved in a whole lot of things before I came into fashion designing, to now sit down and learn. So immediately I told myself, you are not stopping this. So that was when I started looking out for ushering jobs. I started going for ushering, you know, and I was making money from the ushering, and I was using it to buy my materials, buy things that I needed in learning this fashion designing. Another thing that happened to me that period was I went into teaching. Yeah, teaching kids. My sister then was teaching in a school, and she was equally running her own personal tutorial. So I told one day, I said, I'm interested in this. For me, I have a drive. Something was driving me. I needed to achieve something, and I was not ready to give excuse for not getting. So I said, please brush me up. Let me know the basic things on teaching children, coaching. And she did. I picked. I started teaching, I started getting clients. I still remember publishing something that I'm into this, and I started getting calls. People, that was how I started making money in this two not so called skills then, and I started using it to learn, put everything into fashion. Do you know that as I continued, that's okay, I started about late ending 2018 to 2019. While I was doing that, I still looked out for other opportunities that came. I remember I worked for a particular woman in, field work. She told me I should help her. She wasn't so health strong then, that I should replace her and work for her in that particular field. I went for it, and I got a reasonable amount of money. That was how I was so happy that period that I got my first machine, my sewing machine, and it was wonderful for me. I kept putting in. I was consistent. I was going. There are times that I would have to trek. There were times that I had to stay hungry. I was pursuing learning this, and of course, it's not like I paid a huge amount of money to learn. She was my friend, becoming my friend at that point, and I told her the situation of things as well. So it's even made me, when others will come, like when we all gather in a place of work and people are gisting, I'm just looking for what to learn. I'm looking for what to do. I don't just come and stay idle. I come and I must learn one thing before I leave that day. So it's just for someone to know that if you are pursuing after something, like getting a skill, you don't take it lightly. You don't joke around with it. You stay focused. You put your mind into it, and you put your money. Yes, you put your strength. There are times that it won't be so good, it won't be so wonderful, but you have to stay there. So, in essence, what I've been trying to say is that a skill is getting trained, getting knowledge in a particular thing, and applying it. Remember, if you get the knowledge and not apply it, it's not a skill. So you apply that knowledge gotten in a particular area. And remember, in order to get a skill, there are a lot of things that comes with it. It can be stressful, it can be mind taxing, it can be, a whole lot. Stay focused. You have to give it your best. Put your strength. You have to get reasonable plans that can sustain that skill. You have to make sure that you're funding it well. So, just like the scripture said, have you ever seen a man who wants to embark on something and not sit down and count the cost? A man who wants to build will sit down and count the cost. So you have to sit down and intentionally and deliberately count the cost of acquiring a skill before getting into it. So thank you so much. I hope that this really blessed someone out there to stand up and pursue after that skill. It can be in fashion designing, it can be baking, it can be cooking, it can be making hair, makeup, whatever it is. I just believe that this has, given you the inner strength to get up and go pursue that goal and go get that skill that will be a blessing to you and to everyone around you. Thank you for joining me in this section. I hope to see you again. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, drop a comment, and of course share to your friends and anyone you know who might be needing this. I'll see you again in my next video. Thank you for listening. Thank you for staying tuned. Bye.